Hey, what's up guys? Do you want a big, thick, dense back? Well, you came to the right place. First, I gotta tell you something. Are you advanced? How long you been training for? If you don't really have a lot of muscles already, this is a bit too advanced for you. This is more for people that already got some thickness going on, some muscles going on. Otherwise, stick to a pull down, a couple of rows, maybe one row a little lower and one row a little higher. Get strong in those movements, learn to connect your back, learn to move your shoulder blades, get strong. If you're already there, if you came a little longer, if you already got some muscles, I'm going to explain a little the workout I did yesterday, why I did every movement, and what you should think about when you train your back. Okay? Let's go. Look at your back, make some pictures. What do I really need more of? Do I have the thickness but maybe I need more lower lats? Or do I have the lats and maybe my back is a little shallow, need some more thickness? It's really individual how you develop your back, so you should really think about the movement you choose, the order. Me, for example, I've got a lot of lower lats, but I feel that I need a little more thickness. I feel that I need a little more the teres major muscle, the muscle that makes you really wide, just below the armpits. That's what I need. I've got the lats already. So normally I don't do many exercises for lats. This workout, I pretty much just did one. Then I have some exercises. Well, let's explain every movement, okay? Let's start with the first one. I'm starting with a lat pull over with a cable. This is not so much for the lat actually. If I wanted more lat, I would pull a little more this direction. But what I'm doing here is I'm opening up more. This is a great way to start your workout because you get some blood in the whole back. You don't really use your biceps. This is pretty much the only exercise that doesn't use your biceps when you train back. So you don't get tight in your biceps before you start the heavy rowing. My choice this time was to do a pullover, but really opening up to get more teres major muscle development. You still get a good contraction here, you still use your lats, but this is a great movement to start with, to open up everything, to get some blood moving, and you don't really affect the strength when you come to the next movement. So after this, I'm starting with a lat row. This is a pretty difficult version of it because I actually chose a machine and I'm doing like this special made version where I find the angle. It's a great angle though because it really goes the direction of the lat. What you think about when you do more lat movements is never pull your shoulder blades together. This is the big secret if you want lats. If you want thickness though, if you want traps, rhomboids, everything, get your shoulder blades together as much as possible. Try to always have one rowing movement where you open up your shoulder blades to specialize in your lats. Then you have another one when you really squeeze your shoulder blades together. So my second movement this time was a lat row. Really stretching out and really thinking about the contraction without squeezing back. You pretty much squeeze down and really try to get your lat moving. After that I went to the second row, a row with dumbbell against a bench. I put the bench pretty horizontal almost like a seal row. So I really squeeze together. I really think about getting my elbows up and squeeze my back together as much as possible. At the same time, I really go down and stretch everything out. The stretch is the big secret if you want a big back. Learn to really stretch out under load. Stretching under load is one of the most anabolic things you can do for hypertrophy. You want a big back? Learn to stretch it out, keep it there, stretch it out. The contraction is really important, but the stretch, that's the big secret. So after this dumbbell row, I went to another type of row, but concentrating more on my rear delt. I'm always, every back workout, I'm trying to have one movement for rear delts. And I actually prefer a rowing movement before more like an open up flying movement. You can really load it up a little heavier. It doesn't depend on you don't connect your triceps. It's all depending on finding the angle where you use your rear delts. Big secret here, big secret. When you row for delts, don't squeeze your shoulder blades. Open up. This version is really good. It's a bit different. I'm doing it in a bicep Scott curl machine. The big thing with this angle is I can really stretch out and I can really get a great contraction in the end. Big secret here, don't think back shoulder blades, think open up, and then you try to come as high as possible with your elbows without squeezing your shoulder blades together. When you start to squeeze your shoulder blades together, you're going to connect your traps, rhomboids and everything, and what you want here really is isolate your delts as much as possible. And next on I went to a pull down, a really wide pull down. I really try to go a little extra wide to really open up everything. And here the stretch is very important. But now you got blood in the back. Now stretching it all out is gonna make wonders for your back. So when you come up here, really open up, feel everything coming up here. Keep it there for a couple of seconds. It doesn't really matter how low you go. You don't have to really get a full contraction, trying to touch your chest, because that is going to limit the weight. So go heavier here, even if it's shorter reps. What you really want here is to open up everything. Don't be afraid of almost pushing yourself up like you're doing a shoulder press. Get up there, hold it there for a couple of seconds, then you coming down, even if it's only this, even if every rep is a little shorter, you can go on till you're just doing this. The thing is to get your muscles stretched out under load once you filled it up with blood. That is so important, so important. After that, I chose a movement to pretty much finish off. It's like a rowing movement, but incorporating your lower back. Your lower back, you can train more isometric with a deadlift, for example. When you do a deadlift, the lower back is pretty much keeping the weight there, but it doesn't really move. It doesn't really open up and get the contraction and stretching and contraction and stretch the lower back. So what I'm trying to do in this movement is really open up the lower back, and then it will come up. Same time you do a little row, you really squeeze here. So you get this movement here in the lower back. You're gonna get a burn like you never had before. You're never gonna get this burn from a deadlift, for example. A deadlift is gonna make you keep the weight there, static. But it's not gonna give you this burn when you really open up, stretch it and contract it. What you can do in this movement, when you feel like you can't really row anymore and you're starting to get tired, forget about the rowing. Just keep it there. Do some movements just in your lower back. When you finish this movement, you're gonna feel like you can't even stand up. This is how tired you're gonna be. I mean, this is gonna make you feel something in your low back that you never felt before. This pretty much completes my back workout. I started with some pullovers to get blood in there, some teres major stretch, some lats as well. Then I did a heavy row for lats. After that I did another row, more thickness, rhomboids, traps. After that I did a row for rear delts. Then we went to a pull down to really get the teres major muscle, open up everything, stretch under load. And we finished up with a kind of rowing, but also incorporating your low back. And what do we do next? We do some biceps. Always do a touch up on biceps after back. Because I mean, you've been using your biceps anyway. It's pretty much tired anyway. So why not just finish it off? This time I did 2 movements. I just recorded one of them. And this is a great version. I always try to find stability. Everything I do, make it as stable as possible. So when I do this biceps curl, I find this perfect way to make it more stable by putting my elbow against the machine. And you can see this because I have as well something really important to stretch out the muscle. My elbow is a little behind my body. Normally when I do biceps, I always try to have one movement where the elbow is the front of my body for the great contraction, and then one movement where the biceps, where the elbow is behind my body for the stretch. But if I do only one movement, I normally try to make it a stretching movement because that's the most, that's the angle if you really want to cause hypertrophy. I actually, after this movement, did some light pump work with the machine. I didn't record it because it wasn't really anything special. I just got some blood in there. The main movement for bicep this time was my one arm cable curl with the elbow behind your body, making it more stable. So this is a great way to train your back. You can do it 100 ways. The important thing is sit down. Don't just go to the gym and choose movement like the movement you feel like you want to do that day. Sit down before, analyze everything. I need this movement for this part. I need this movement for this part. As a rule, try to have one kind of pull down, and then one row doing with the elbows pretty low to your body without getting your shoulder blades together, and another row when the elbows is a little higher, getting your shoulder blades together. That's pretty much the rule. With these 3 movements, you get pretty much the whole back. Then you can always incorporate some lower back work, and depending on your priorities. If you really need more lats, do a lat pull down as well, for example. I have some clients that's really missing the lats, so I'm making them do one pull down for the lats when you don't retract your shoulder blades, and then one rowing for the lats. You can even make it more an angle where you stretch more and another angle when you contract more, but that's more advanced. But the most important thing is plan your workout. Plan the order. It matters, yes. And another thing, stretch the muscle under load and get stronger. A good technique, clean technique, but still getting stronger every week. It's very important. Put your numbers down in your book. Don't sacrifice form. Make it clean, but get stronger. And I promise you, your back is gonna grow.